There's a familiar face, BDRT Cyberstro, and the Mercedes. TPRT MDez and the Honda. TPRT Alley GP and the Supra. Nice looking liveries from everybody here. There's the newest member of Black Dragon Racing Team, which is BDRT J-Rod, a familiar face. Used to be in the Porsches a lot. Fams Amular. Good to have this guy back. He's been on hiatus for a while, but he'll be making his full-time appearance now in GTC3. As always, he's driving the Honda. It's the only thing that this guy knows how to drive. Well, not knows how to, but he is Team Honda 100% through and through. Another new member of the Black Dragon Racing Team, BDR Cup. It's really Cupcake, but we'll call him BDR Cup. And right behind him is his teammate, BDRT Death Scythe, in the Ford GT. So we got a Mazda on track there for BDRT and a Ford GT. He lets his teammate pass, and they are all in qualifying right now. So they might be working together. Here's a guy from Rockefeller Racing, a newly signed driver, our One Wing 46 in the 911, making his debut in SFR in general. So that's a RWB is a new team in the series. That's Red, White, and Blue Racing. They do have other teammates that might not have their RWB PSN, but they do. They will be having a few members throughout the different divisions. So we got RWB. Happy to have them with us. C. Winkle. Here's another Rockefeller Racing driver, our Early Mac. Early Mac made a few appearances last season in Division 2, and he's looking to be full-time now, which he will be, and looking to improve on how he does in that M6 of his. We have our Anubis, who made a few appearances last season but is now full-time like his teammate Early Mac. So we got 3 RR drivers in here right now, and there's a couple that are missing that will be here. I think actually 1 driver is missing, but it looks like Anubis is in the Mazda. We have our buddy Big Red, U of A, so he is in the 911. Pretty solid car to have all around, especially for a track like Autopolis here. C3DU. I'm gonna have trouble actually calling your name out, bud, but let's hope I don't have too much trouble. He's in the Viper, a good old Viper on the track. C3D. I gotta try and remember that. I'm gonna give some of these guys some nicknames if you don't mind. So C3D. TPRT MDez on track, so he's probably just running his hot lap. Oop, he got 5th there, so he warmed up. So it looks like the way things stand right now, we have J-Rod on top, Fams Amular in the Honda, BDRT Cupcake, so BDRT Cup in the Mazda in 3rd right now, One Wing in 4th, but he's finishing in parking. MDez in 5th, Death Scythe in 6th. Did he best his time? I don't know if Death Scythe bested his time there, but he might be on another hot lap here. Our WBC Winkle, our Anubis, they probably have, yep, the host is telling them to finish in park. So these are going to be the last hot laps that these guys get. There. J-Rod looks like he's up on Amular by almost half a second, so pretty nice job by J-Rod and the vet here. Let's see if he can best his time even more. He can't, but that's okay. Does Amular? He cut it down. He did cut it down, Amular, but that's about it. Let's see if we can see somebody on track. Let's take you through here. Autopolis is a very complicated track, guys. It's a lot of technical corners, and there's not much for high speed except for the home straight. It eats a ton of tires, so it's really tough here on tires. So you got to know how to manage it. This race is a 31 lap race, okay? And let's just go over some of the new things that will be introduced in Season 3 here throughout GTC2, which is Division 2, and GTC3, which we're currently in right now, which is Division 3. There will now be a required compound of racing mediums like there always were, but you have to run them for a minimum of at least 5 laps. So that has changed now from prior seasons. So we'll take a look at that and see how they work that out through the race here and see what kind of factor that plays, because it's definitely going to play another factor here. That is guaranteed for sure. So while they set the grid up, it looks like TPRT Ali GP, he did get the fastest lap right now at 1:44.631, which is actually a really good lap. It's a really good lap, actually. So even though these guys are in Division 3 and some Division 2s, there's a lot of fast guys throughout the league here. So it's really a competitive field. And there he is. There's my broadcasting partner, PX7 Rodrigo. How you doing, bud?
Hello everyone. Hello Catch. Thank you for having me today. We are here for the test event and we're gonna have some fun. So yeah, again, thanks for having me and good luck to all drivers involved.
So we're just waiting for the host to set the grid and everybody pick their compounds. And also, Rodrigo, how do you think this is going to play out with the racing mediums? Now they have to use them for a minimum of at least 5 laps, as opposed to the last season where the racing mediums only needed to be ran for 1 lap.
Well, I think it's a good change since pretty much the past seasons it was about avoiding the mediums and doing the least laps possible. So now we'll see people maybe doing an actual long speed on the mediums and struggling to keep up at the beginning. So strategies will have more variety and we'll see how that plays out.
Yes, I'm anxious to see that as well. I do think you're exactly on point there. It's going to definitely force the 5 laps, but then again, like you mentioned, do you want to run an extra stint? Do you want to keep them a little bit longer? And especially at a track here like Autopolis, where it eats tires. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys do and how it pans out. And it's worth mentioning that GTC2 is going on right now in the other division, is being live streamed on SFR. We are live streaming as well, as we told you, but GTC3 will be released either shortly after GTC2 or it will be released possibly tomorrow. But everything is still live streamed, and I was saying, Rodrigo, I believe that there's still a few people that didn't enter, but I believe TPRT, was it Mdez that got the fastest lap? He said somebody said a 1:44. I can't remember off the top of my head who that was. We'll obviously see shortly when the grid is set, but that's a pretty competitive lap when you compare it to even some of the Division 1 times. I mean, certainly Division 2. So there's not that big of a gap between the fields in the divisions.
That's nice. Yeah, there's not so much of a skill gap, so yeah, I'm sure that every division is very competitive, and we'll see how we do tonight.
Are you going to answer him, or you want me to answer him?
Right.
There you go. Alright, they're getting ready to start soon. We're taking a look at J-Rod on track. He's just putting around. Like we said, we got a new team in the mix here for this season. RWB stands for Red, White, and Blue. Pretty original, but I like it. And you remember this guy, don't you?
Who is it?
Fams Amuler.
Yep, absolutely. Hopefully he has a better season. It's been a rough few seasons for him, so...
Yeah, he did do pretty well in qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. And ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get underway here for this first test event. So let's get it on here. Yes, here we go.
We're ready to go racing on this 4.6 kilometers track, located at Kamitsue in Japan. So here we go.
Oh, we got Ali. That's what it was. Ali GP up top. And the Supra from J-Rod, Death Scythe, Amular, Cupcake, so Cup C, One Wing, MDez, Anubis, top 8. Let's see how we do, everybody. Let's just see how we do here.
No traction control, so some wheel spin.
They have it here. They're allowed it here. Look at the jump that Death Scythe got.
J-Rod jumps into the lead.
He does with the Corvette. Good start.
And into turn 1, J-Rod is scot-free in the lead.
Oh, little contact there. It looks like everybody has managed to get through T1 successfully. That's a great job.
Oh, contact at the rear. Somebody has... Nobody has passed.
That was between One Wing there, I believe, and Cupcake.
Indeed.
Let's make sure everybody's getting through here okay.
It looked like a pretty clean start to me. J-Rod is in the lead by half a second, so...
It was indeed a clean start.
Racing team 1-2 at the moment.
We got some action going on at the back of the pack here, though, between our Anubis and RWB driver. Anubis taking the inside between 8th and 9th position. Got Big Red trailing there. And CDU. Cyberstro, I don't know what happened to him. He's at the back of the pack, but he might just be taking it easy and figuring out some of his best strategies. But at the front, like you said, we have J-Rod and the Vet just about to finish the end of the lap here. And his teammate behind him. And J-Rod looks to be out.
Yeah, Ale is going. Sorry, Ale is going down the inside. He's past Death Side.
He did indeed. He did indeed. But that Supra has great power down the straight, and so does that Ford GT.
Here comes Death Side.
Death Side's gonna get the inside here.
Move. Is he gonna overcook it? No. I think he has. There goes Ale on the switchback. That's good bit of racing.
Yes, good racing. Good racing there. They are on each other like white on rice. Now, a lot of this times, like we say, battling with each other, that will give J-Rod the opportunity to continue to grow his lead, which is at 1.5 seconds right now. But don't count these guys out. Let's get a tire update. So J-Rod started on the softs.
Yeah.
Ali on the softs.
Top 4 is on the softs, and 5th place RR One Wing is on the mediums at the moment.
Okay, so One Wing looks like he is going to be holding up a little bit of the field. Cupcake just got by him. So, yep, he is on the mediums. And there's Amular with a little contact. Ooh, contact from the back, too.
He goes down the inside. Elbows out.
That was elbows out. Amular on the mediums as well, though, so pretty even racing there, but he made that pass to the inside. That's a hard position. That's a hard turn. So Amular on the mediums, one wing on the mediums, Cupcake on the softs. I think we have 1 through 6 on the softs. And then another Rockefeller driver, Anubis in the Mazda Tenza, is on the softs as well. So he needs to do some work and get by his teammates there. And we have 9, 10, and 11 all on the mediums. Early Mac, I don't know what happened. He's got contact in the rear. I could see in 12th place his rear bumper. So something happened. And then C3D, something must have happened. He's on the mediums, but Early Mac was on the softs, and something definitely happened to him. But back at the front, they're closing in on J-Rod slightly, and Death Scythe has taken that second position.
Yeah, it seems like they're at the moment going slightly faster than J-Rod, the two behind, but J-Rod is keeping his rear tires in pretty good condition, better than the 4GT and the Supra, so tire wear is gonna be a factor in this track. Very high stress for the tires here with high speed corners, so we'll see how that plays out too.
Yes, very high, very high, very beating on the tires. I'm curious to see how the 4GT makes it out through here. We know cars like the Supra and the Vet are a little bit more forgiving. You know, 4GT being a mid-engine car, on tire wear could get loose. I think that, and I only saw the NSX, if I'm not mistaken. It was the only other mid-engine cars we have here.
Indeed, yeah. Now, K-Cup has made a pass for 4th place on his Mazda.
Ooh, Death Sight just went off. Oh, Death Sight just went off. Ooh, he regained its spot in 5th. And that's the kind of thing.
3 places lost. Yeah.
3 places lost, and that's the kind of thing that could happen at this track. It's very unforgiving through those tight sections.
Now, RR, Anubis, and Fam Amular are battling at the moment. Anubis on the soft, so he's gonna try and pass the NSX on the mediums currently. And here he comes. To turn 1 on the inside. He's gonna have to outbrake him. Doesn't have enough confidence. No, Amular is wide. And once again, got him.
He does have him, yep. He's got him. That was a nice move. But Anubis is on the soft, so he really needed to get that done.
Yeah, he couldn't afford getting held up by Amular again, like for a few more laps.
So we do.
Faster tires, so.
Absolutely right. That's going to come into factor at the later stages of the race for sure. I wanted to ask you here something. Wow, you take a look at the soft tires here for TPR MDES. He's burning through the softs pretty good compared to Cupcake. Cupcake making a surprising, taking advantage of that after Death Scythe's mistake, running a little wide there, but holds on to it there. Oh, we got a battle.
There's been a change in the lead.
Yeah,
Ale has got past J-Rod. Nice pass.
That was a nice pass indeed. I hate to do this, but I am stuck in a position here where I can't get different angles. I want to be able to get the viewing, so I might have to exit Rodrigo from my spectating and come back in, but I will not do that just yet.
J-Rod is going down the inside of LA while you do that, so please speak about that.
Thank you.
And J-Rod has taken back the lead, so yeah. Good overtake again. These two are duking it out for the lead right now.
And let's go on board with TPRT Alley. So we're riding on board with Alley. It seems like that Supra is able to take him through certain positions of that track, but then the Vet is making it up. Pretty intense battle here, Rodrigo. What do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty good. These are the closest cars we have on the track currently, and it's for the lead. So yeah, it's pretty good. I think they have similar pace, so we'll see how long this stands. He's right up his gearbox at the moment.
He is. Very tense part of the track here too. It's very technical. This is where we saw Death Scythe lose it coming into here, into this sector. Pretty nice driving from both the drivers.
Here we go, long run for the final corner and a little bit of a straight. Let's see if LA can get the run. In the slipstream. Doesn't look close enough at the moment. J-Rod moves to a side to try and cut off the slipstream effect.
Yep, he's not going to be able to get it done.
Yep,
not yet. Good battle up front though. So we take a look at Ali's softs compared to J-Rod softs. They look pretty much even here. So we're on 6 of 31, guys. And we got another member from BDRT here. He's in his own world right now. It's kind of good and bad in no man's land. He's got no pressure from behind. Closest would be his teammate Death Scythe, which you'd have to imagine would be able to make some pace back up and capitalize on that mistake that he had earlier on. And he's still in a decent position, 4th, so luckily for him he didn't lose too many positions there. Next closest is Mdez from TPRT.
Unfortunately for Cyberstro, he has gone off the track once again, so not having the best of drive for the moment. But still a long way to go, so hopefully he can gain a bit of time.
Yeah, hopefully. And like we said, this is a race where we're trying to have everybody wants to feel each other out, feel their opponents, and test the cars. So Cyberstro being the host, he might have just been looking for some casual Sunday driving.
So maybe he's just in the back testing his car, testing the limits. So maybe we'll see what he's doing.
Now, something to point out here, I don't know if our Anubis happened to go off or something, but a few laps ago he did make that move. We got Ali GP in the pits, but he made the move and then he fell back, so that's,
Yep.
Let's see what Ali did.
And LA has come into the pits.
Yep. He's taking the mediums, and is he going to beat his teammate?
Off the track in turn 1. Really wide.
Oh, Death Scythe. Oh, we got another one. The NSX is off too. Oh no.
Yeah, that's not great rejoining on the track, but yeah.
Oof, we got battles here. So
one wing gets past Death Scythe into turn 2.
What is Death Scythe on? Death Scythe's on the softs. He's gonna need to get around him quick before he loses way too much time, because Ali went for the undercut there, and if Death Scythe can't get by, that's going to be an issue here.
Yep. So LA currently on new mediums versus J-Rod's kinda worn out stuff, so we'll see. I think that LA currently is gaining a bit of time on him. So it's gonna be close at the exit of the pit lane.
It will, and J-Rod, I gotta say, has taken pretty good care of those tires through 7 laps so far. I mean, he did get out. That's the advantage of getting out to fresh start and not really defending. Although he did have to defend a little bit, but you kind of get out, run away, have some clean air, as opposed to what we've seen some of these other guys having to.
Let's see
battle.
if he's gonna cover him off. He's coming in.
Yes.
Low and easy, not crossing the pit lane lines, and good entry. So both BDRT drivers in the pit now, and we'll see how they come out. Similar strategy.
Mediums.
And LA has gone by. The undercut has worked an absolute treat.
Great job by Ali.
Yeah.
Did J-Rod take the mediums? He did indeed, and Cupcake did too. So we still have now One Wing inherits 4th place, and he's still running on the mediums. It looks like he's taking pretty good care of those mediums as well. So like you said, we know the 5 laps is the minimum here, but they seem to be running a little bit longer. We'll see what the front runners do, but we have guys like Amular and One Wing who have run longer stints, and even RWBC Winkle. So we shall see. Ooh, look at the softs on TPRT Mdez. He surely has to come in this lap.
Yep.
That could be a major reason why he went off when Ali was coming out of the pits. He went off on T1. He just couldn't pull the car up in time. And Dead Scythe is going to pounce on him any second now. He can get it before.
These are gonna be a factor. These softs do get quite somewhere, so maybe, yeah, some drivers indeed is staying out in the mediums for a bit longer. We'll see.
Oh, CD3 in the back of the pack went off a little bit.
Yeah, currently we have the top 5 from 1st to 6th are in the medium at the moment. But 4th, 5th, and 6th haven't pitted, and as I say, that 4th place, One Wing is coming to the pit.
One Wing's coming in.
He doesn't have to use them again.
Yep. So he did his mediums. Does he take any splash and dash here? Let's see. Nope.
Out on the softs.
Mdez had to get off those softs. They were just horrendous. He's taking some fuel too. A little splash and dash. Yes, he does. And he's now on the mediums. So we could take him off the list. Cybercio inherits a position there, still on the mediums. Let's take you back to the front though here. 1.6. So the undercut has worked for Ali on J-Rod for sure.
Yep, very nice strategy right there. I think Ali is currently going a bit faster, so he can take advantage of this undercut and try and get some distance with J-Rod at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be close. It's going to definitely be close. We'll see, because he'll be a lap older on the mediums, but then again, you want to get back on those softs as soon as possible. So Ali looks like he's ripping this track up pretty nice here and building his lead ever so slightly, 10th by 10th through each sector here. Let's take a ride on board with Ali in cockpit view here for everybody at home to see of what Autopolis looks like. We'll go a lap with TPRT Ali GP in cockpit mode. I'll leave it to you, Rodrigo. You walk us through it if you'd like.
Turn 1, breaking the 100-meter mark. Good. Turning in. Use all that curve on the outside that's given to you. Very wide space of track. Now here for turn 2, you brake in the little bit of asphalt. There you go. Second gear. Nailing every apex through here. Take a wider line, so for the next apex you have a good line for the hairpin. So not much to say really. He's doing very good driving, so yeah, you're getting a good lap of Autopolis over here.
Certainly is. Hitting those apexes very nicely. This is a turn where, coming up here, this left-hander where a lot of people do go for an overtake, and hard to get right over that crest.
Yep. A lot of changes in elevation from this track.
There is indeed. If I'm being honest with you, I do not like this track that much myself.
Yeah, me neither, but there are many tracks that we have to cope through on the calendar, so
that is true. And
one's gotta do what one's gotta do.
And it's good for getting used to a car, used to tire wear, because this track will certainly eat up your tires.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's good for that. And this is the last sector of the track here before the home straight. Nice job by
Autopolis. Good lap. For 46.6, only 2 tenths lower than his previous lap. So,
and he's built up a few tenths over J-Rod at that point, even just through that lap there.
And A. Millar is coming to the pits. He's used those mediums for 10 laps, so he doesn't have to use them again.
That's a good job by Emular for getting 10 laps out of those mediums. So we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, he's taking some fuel and he's out in the soft spot.
Splash and dash. Is he going to?
Here comes Steve Winkle, and he's got by him. They are both on new softs. Yep, they are on similar strategies at the moment.
Good job.
Now up ahead are our one wing battling our newbies, and he's gone down not down the inside, but about making the move on the hairpin.
And one wing now on those softs. He did run those mediums for a while too, but Anubis has not yet taken the mediums. He started on the softs. Remember, he made his way up through the field, and then he had some sort of an issue where he got from 5th place, he dropped back down to about 8th place. So yeah, this is a good opportunity for his teammate. And you got Death Sight there, who is 9 seconds off of 4th place, but with those two, crucial spin-offs, it'd be safe to say Death Scythe would be battling for a podium at this position here. It's not over yet by any means, but certainly you could see where those 9 seconds came from here.
Lay's in the pits. I am not sure which lap he pitted on. I think he pitted at 7. Has he done his 5 laps on the medium?
That's a good question. I don't know.
He probably pitted at 6, but if he pitted at 7, he's in trouble of all sorts up there.
Yeah, and now it's worth mentioning that the new rule applies for this season, that if you did what we're assuming Ali did, and that's run a lap short, for every lap you don't run the racing mediums on, they have to be ran 5. For every lap you don't run them, you would get a 10-second penalty. So, if you only run 4, like we're assuming Ali did, he has one of 2 options. He could either repit if he realizes that himself and take the extra lap of mediums, or he sucks it up and he takes a 10-second penalty. So it's really crucial for the drivers to think when they're on track. It's something that could easily be overlooked, Rodrigo. You go through say you pit on lap 11, or you think 4 laps because your out lap is actually the 5th lap, but no it's not. So we won't know until the review.
Yep, so taking a look at this, he's pitted at 6, so he's done 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11 if you count the in lap, so that's basically 5 laps, but that's down to the stewards.
So
I think he's fine.
Yeah, so yes, we will have to wait until the official review, but yeah, and going off of your information, then yes, that's good, so we don't have to worry about him there.
Yeah, he's pitted at 6. Yeah, he pitted at 6.
Okay, perfect. So he's good to go, and obviously this is his first out lap on the softs. So he is going to run down Cupcake right now for sure. Will he get a move?
Cupcake go for the defense. Oh, Cupcake currently holding up Ale a little bit.
Definitely holding him up.
A little bit of contact. You're gonna get the move done now. Yes. So Cupcake not doing his teammate much favors. I'm sure that he would have liked to hold him up a bit more, but
indeed,
yeah,
indeed. And if he could have held him up a little bit longer through this sector here, that would have really given J-Rod some space. But J-Rod's got 6 seconds, so what do we figure here? Figure mediums with no tire change with no fuels, probably about 8 seconds that I'd say you lose on track.
Yeah, and changing tires without taking fuel, it's about 10 seconds, I think. So he's way off at the moment.
Yeah, and looks like that undercut really did work out for Ali, and J-Rod has to think about... Well, if we're correct, if Ali was correct, then this might be... We'll see what J-Rod does. This might be the lap that J-Rod decides to come in here.
Yep, final corner now. We'll see. Figure it out now. And he pulls to the left and he's coming into the pits at the moment.
He is, so...
Nice and slow, doesn't cross the lines, and good entry.
This is certainly a pit entry that could hurt you if you're not careful. His teammate follows him in. They seem to be on the same strategy, so they're going for splash and dash on the same strategy. Yes, so they will come out.
82% fuel at the moment, so he's taking a lot of fuel.
He has. He might be good to almost the end, and they both get the positions. They do. They hold them over the two Rockefeller drivers. Now, one thing that is going on here with the Rockefeller drivers that I don't know if they're communicating with each other through the team radio or not, but Anubis is on worn softs and One Wing is on fresher softs, so you would like to think that Anubis would let him by knowing that, but it doesn't seem like they're communicating very well.
No, yeah, he's been behind him for a few laps now, so yeah, probably causing some troubles, having to push harder for the overtake, wearing out his newer softs, so that's really interesting at the moment.
Yeah, so you'd like to see them no, well, it's going to end this lap, I would assume, because Anubis is going to most likely have to come in. Oh, there you go.
No, he runs wide. Ooh, little bit of contact.
This is not what a team owner wants to see.
Is he going to hold it? He does. Good bit of racing. And One Wing cannot get through, so he must be a pretty frustrated man right now with his very own teammate.
Yes, and he's losing precious time to Cupcake through this whole process, so... This is not what you want to see out of teammates. A little rubbing.
That's a good pass. And it was wide and tried to turn back in, but there was no turning back at that point. So good pass on a very tough section of the track.
It was, and now and then you got Death Sight entering the pits. Let's see if
Anubis comes in. So.
Yeah, we knew he had to do that. I mean, he really should have gotten out of the way.
If you ask me, that was pretty pointless to not let his own teammate by, but that's how it goes.
Okay, Death Sight on the mediums now. Both Rockefeller drivers in. And Death Sight, we're going to get you a legit update through the field here. So let's go through, starting from Ali, we know, is on softs. Ali's built up a 14-second lead. This man...
Anubis has spun out of the pits. He's on the grass. That's a really bad mistake with cold tires. It can usually happen, so...
that does happen. Yeah, we didn't get to catch that. Caught the tail end of it, but yeah, that's that's never a good thing when you come out. You always got to remember about those cold tires, especially when you get off the softs to a lesser compound. But as I was saying, Ali has built up an incredible 14-second lead here. Now, keep in mind, J-Rod and Cupcake are on the same strategy, but they both did take fuel, and Ali didn't. So let's take a look here. J-Rod's got 75%. Ali is more or less about 40%, so that could play a factor down the line, but this clean air is certainly doing Ali well, and he has the fastest lap of the race so far, so you know he has the pace for sure.
Yep, good driving, really good. He's built up that lead, and I think that for now he's gonna get to keep it unless he loses a lot of pace or makes a mistake, so that's really good.
Really good, and he's purpled right there through the first sector as well, so...
So now we have three cars within 1 second for 4th place. Our One Wing, C. Winko and Fanfei Millar. And yeah, they are pretty close. They are all on the soft. And yep.
And all about the same wear too. Now you got Death Scythe in behind on the mediums.
Yeah,
but he got fresh
new medium,
mediums.
so he's probably looking to get fast, yeah.
This is interesting here.
Going very, very quick right now. Let's see. Ooh, Mueller runs a bit wide. Left side is going down the inside and into the hairpin. A little bit wide, a little bit of contact. No, that's a good move.
Oh,
very
that's a
good
great
piece of
move.
driving by both.
Yeah, great move. So he will move in now, Death Scythe on his next targets, which would be RWB and RR driver.
So these two are duking it out, but they've got Death Scythe coming on new mediums as Ali goes in. That's
Ali goes in, let's see what he
short
does.
stint on the top. I reckon he's got about 2 stops left. He hasn't refueled yet, so he's definitely got at least 1 stop left.
That is a, you know what? The fact that he didn't refuel there, or even take a splash and dash, is going to play out, I believe, for J-Rod.
Yep, 1 wing comes in, so C Winkle, RWB, C Winkle takes that position, and Death Scythe has 1 less car to overtake on his fresh mediums. It's looking pretty quick right now.
Ooh, he ran wide again.
On the grass a little bit, yeah.
But that's okay. He caught it.
Gotta keep it on the track. He's done quite a bit of mistakes this race, but finding his feet right now, so good driving.
Indeed he is. We'll see if C Winkle releases Death Scythe, if Death Scythe goes into the pits this, if RWB C Winkle goes into the pits this lap, give Death Scythe some clean air there. Let's get a fuel update though from starting at the top. So we got softs and checked off your mediums for Ali. He's done them. J-Rod on softs, much more fuel, did his mediums. Cupcake, much more fuel, and did his mediums. C Winkle, I believe, did his mediums, and he's going to need to refuel. Death Scythe is obviously on the mediums and going to need to refuel. Mueller did a long stint of the mediums, so he's good, and he's going to need to refuel slightly. And 1 wing did his mediums as well, and looks like he has enough fuel in the tank, I would assume. Anubis, obviously on the mediums, and he is what we would assume good to the end on fuel. Early Mac, we haven't seen a lot of him today. He did get into a little bit of some contact that we didn't catch off the bat, but obviously on the mediums, and it looks like he's pretty much good to go on fuel to the end here. And Miller's pitting. Oh, and we just got Big Red.
Miller and C Winkle go in. And 1 wing has managed to do the undercut. I think he was behind him. Good job.
Yeah, and at the back of the pack there, unfortunately Big Red went off, but that is good there. So we got a tire update. We have some fuel updates.
Cyber in. Alright.
And this looks like a intense battle right here. So let's see now. So 1 wing got the undercut. He's a lap fresher on. I'm sorry. Winkle's a lap fresher on softs. Let's take a ride with him and see what he can do here.
Yep. Interesting to point out. Currently, I think everybody has done their medium stint, minus Death Scythe, who is the only car on track in the mediums, so yeah, he's gonna be looking to get those out of the way and probably do his final stop of the day.
Yes. And Winkle's on the gearbox of 1 wing. Also worth mentioning, a lot of these drivers are making their debut in SFR in general, and we're looking at 2 of them right now.
Pretty nice. Both running in the top 10, 1 in the top 5, so they are probably looking for that position and carrying some momentum into the first race of the season, because we're currently in a test event, mind you, so drivers looking to find their feet out here and, yeah, get some bragging rights before getting the season going.
Absolutely. Oh, we
have
got
a yellow flag, and Deathscythe has had another off on his medium tires.
But he saved it. He managed to save some of it.
Yeah, lost.
But he lost a lot more time there now to his teammate.
That's really unfortunate. Lost around 8 seconds there.
It is, and he's struggling with this mid-engine car. That's why I brought it up at the beginning of the race with these mid-engines here. You've personally driven the Ford GT before, and you know that car pretty well. You know, it's stable, I would say, but it could get really loose on you. And Deathscythe, he was in the Audi last season, and I would say that the Audi is definitely more stable than the Ford GT, in my opinion.
Can agree on that pretty much. I think that the Ford GT has got worse with this last update. It's not really a good car on tires. It eats up a lot of fuel, so yeah, he's getting used to the car, and I don't know how he's liking it right now. Probably not that much.
Yeah,
get down.
He's probably again, and you know, it's worth mentioning to let everybody out there know that during these test events, this is the first one. The next one will be at my heritage track, and something that's special to me and Rodrigo for many GR4 reasons that we can get into another day. But Majority will be next, and everybody can drive whatever car they like right now. So there are some of them might stick with what you see out here on track, and some of them might decide to go with something else.
Yes. So, sorry to interrupt. Here goes Seawinkle. He's right up one wing. One wing has run a bit wide. No, he gets to keep that position. One wing did a little bit of a mistake in turn 1, flipping the grass, and he's allowing Seawinkle to have a little bit of an opportunity right now.
Yeah, he indeed. And the next closest one is Deathscythe, which you would seem that these two drivers would overtake Deathscythe when he pits and gets off those mediums. So these guys are gonna move up an extra position here, but they don't seem to realize that because they want to pass each other and defend, which I could totally understand and appreciate. But they're cutting the lead down to Deathscythe as we speak, so something that you might want to consider is definitely working together instead of trying to fight all the time. But hey, racing is a greedy sport.
Yeah, well, I think they'll be quite clear of Deathscythe once they pit, because currently Deathscythe has... J-Rod has pitted again, but yeah, Deathscythe has around the 25% mark for fuel, so he's not really doing too well on that department. So
yeah, and on the medium, so...
Yeah. As Seawinkle is still trying to find a way past one wing goes defensive to the inside. Let's see. Winkle is on the outside. Brakes late. That's gutsy. Round the outside. A little bit of contact. That's
good
really good.
Moves
Still
by
side by side. Into turn 2. Let's see. One wing. Great defense also onto that position. Very good.
This has been pretty great driving from both drivers. What they do have to keep in mind is what is happening behind them with Amular. Amular's on some nice soft tires too, and he's almost within slipstream range, which there's not a lot to be had on this track, but if they keep on battling, Amular might see the door open for himself here.
Yep, he's closing them down. This, of course, battling loses a bit of time.
Oh!
But, whoa, down the inside, little bit loose on the exit. He has the outside for the next corner, though.
This is gonna get interesting here.
Again. Round it. No, he's run it wide. He's overcooked it. I think there was a bit of contact, but
okay.
Yeah.
Ali's in.
Now look, Emilari is trying to pick up the pieces here. He's got the best pace out of these guys, and seat.
As Ali refuels.
Ali has taken a bit of fuel, and J-Rod is noticeably closer now.
Yep.
But it hasn't been enough for him, so he's gonna have to make this on sheer pace and muscle power on his Corvette. So we'll see how it goes.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Now there's 3.5 seconds now. Ali's got fresh tires. J-Rod does too. I wonder though. Do you think that they have to refuel? Or are they good to the end? I think they might be good to the end.
I think they are good to the end, but you never know.
You never know.
It could still play out, and yeah.
And the Supra has less fuel than the Vet, although one would imagine that the Supra would burn less fuel, both short-shifting, low-torque cars, but let's give it up here for BDRT's newest signing, Cupcake. I mean, he's in a podium position right now, his first ever race with SFR. So he's got some bragging rights on the line, and he's in the Mazda, which we know has some pretty poor starts off the line. So I know his teammate Death Scythe would have been fighting for a podium as well if he hadn't made those mistakes, but BDRT Cupcake coming through, pretty nice run so far in debut, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think you gotta keep it on the track. You know, you cannot feel sorry if that your rival goes off the track. You gotta take those chances, and per play he's kept it on the track. He hasn't been as fast as the first two out here, but he's doing a great job for the podium. So
Indeed.
very good, and very good debut.
Well, it was his teammate that ran off track, so you know, that's always something that caught me too. You know, when your teammate does go off track and you gain a position, something you never want to see, but you'll take it. Now, something happened to one wing. I don't know what it was. We missed it, but something obviously must have happened because Winkle and Amular got by him. So he had a top 5 in hand, and something happened. And then, like I said, unfortunately, we don't have replays, but these two were battling really hard with each other. So it could have been something with contact-wise, as Winkle is closing down on Death Scythe and getting a little sideways there. And Death Scythe still running those mediums and did not take fuel. So Death Scythe is going to certainly lose 4th position. Now it comes down to Amular if he could actually run down Winkle, and they're about roughly the same, although the Honda has a little bit more fuel in it. A shame for one wing though. You see that there's an 11-second fall off there from Amular, so obviously it might have to be something that's under review. We could see the front end of his car having some damage. So something obviously happened as his battle for 5th place. Well, it was good to see for a while though, with 2 new drivers in the series, and they were both battling for 5th place as he gets a little sideways there but holds on to it. You know, they were battling very nice and respectful, aggressive driving. So
yeah, really good to see on this test event. There are things to come on the season, so it's gonna be a pretty good season if they can keep up this level of racing.
And I do believe that. Go ahead.
Winkle right up on Death Scythe at the moment.
Oh, there it is. Yes, there it is. And these are rival drivers.
Yep. Death Scythe is about to come into the pits. He's running out his fuel and then going till the end on soft. So see how this goes. Death Scythe should be looking to desperately hold up Winkle right now, so he can put on his softs and then put on the pace in the end and see how he does.
Ooh, was there contact there? I think he's going to give the spot back. He is, but Amular's going to pounce.
Amular taking the chance out there. Yeah, they made contact and Amular is going to take the position. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Success.
He did indeed say that.
Yeah. Here comes C Winkle. No, staying back.
C Winkle's got to be fuming right now.
Indeed. Yeah, you never want to be held up by a car on all mediums, but it's racing. They are still racing for position, and it might like play out in the end of the race when Death Size does his final stint with the soft. So we'll see. He's finally gonna get rid of those mediums this lap.
Oh, Seawinkle. Oh,
yeah,
Emular
he's
right in the
attacking
curves.
Emular again.
He's defending. Emular's got way worse softs though in the front. Seawinkle was doing the right thing, addressing the Death Scythe minor contact, and Emular, like you said thank you very much. Death Scythe into the pits. We know he's going to fuel and take the softs to the end. Can Seawinkle run him down here? He's going for the move. He shows a mirror and he backs off here.
Emular brakes late. Oh, he's on the grass. Nah, he's not gonna be able to keep that. Good driving by Winkle. Good driving by Emular, even though he made a little bit of a mistake.
Yeah, and it worked out in the end for Winkle so far, so that's good to see. Let's take a look here. So Death Scythe jumped Anubis even on the soft, so that's something positive for Death Scythe. He only really lost 2 positions there. It could have actually been worse with having the fuel. So Anubis has actually inherited 7th because of the issue that One Wing had. You got Cyberstro that managed to get into the pits. Early Mac on softs, struggling a little bit today in the M6. But again, I think something happened with contact, and it's just hard when you're involved with an incident. It's just hard to make a recovery. We have TPRT Mdez. He had got off, as you mentioned earlier in the race as well, and if I'm not mistaken, Rodrigo, I think he overfueled extremely too much now. Maybe he's just experimenting with things in the car.
For the amount of laps to go, looks like it. Yeah.
So we got Cupcake in the pits here, and his teammate J-Rod did not enter the pits. So could Cupcake be going for an undercut on his teammate?
I think 8 seconds is way too much of a gap, so I don't know. He's gonna have to really push, gain 2 seconds a lap if J-Rod is going along or going till the end. So
now something to be interesting here is, let's see what happens here, because Winkle comes out just ahead of Emular, who had a bit more fuel. And Emular, will he get Death Scythe? No, he will not. So Death Scythe actually inherits it. Yep. So Death Scythe, after all the struggle, still within top 5 range. If he can keep it on track and have Emular in his rear view, I'd say Death Scythe would have to be pretty happy with that overall. But
yeah, very
Winkle,
good. He did a pretty good stint on the mediums, keeping the pace with the soft runners, so he's gonna be very pleased with that.
Yeah, and I noticed that when Winkle and Emular entered the pits, Winkle had slightly less fuel than Emular, and he jumped out ahead. So just taking a look. Oh, Emular off. Oh, big damage, big spin.
Yeah,
oh,
the
one wing.
One wing off on the same corner.
Oh, it might have had something to do with the fact that he saw somebody go off, and there's his teammate that passes him. Wow,
yep.
Wow.
Alay is in. We've got a change for the lead. J-Rod now leads again. Has a bit more fuel than Alay. Alay has probably done his final stop now, so
for sure.
J-Rod might choose to stay out, which he absolutely can. There are not many laps to go, and Alay would have to chase him down. See how
now, the interesting thing here, like we talked about, is Ali did not fuel when J-Rod did early, so we thought that might come into play, but Ali has the pace, which we've seen all day, and J-Rod is on a little bit worn tires. So if you were J-Rod right now, Rodrigo, let's get into the mind of J-Rod here. Would you decide to stay out and run your softs to the end, because we got another 5 laps and 5.5 laps, which, depending on how good you can take care of tires, it could. Do you stay out and try and defend? Because Ali's coming hot and quick, or do you sacrifice the pit and try and recover on new softs and make up what you can?
Yeah, I mean, after this lap, after 27, there are only gonna be 4 laps to go, and Cupcake is currently 13.5 seconds off from LA, so I think that if I were in his shoes, I would probably take the risk, because I don't feel that today he's had more pace than Ali. I don't think he can recover 6-5 seconds in the final few laps, so we'll see what he does. He stays out.
He does. So, if he's staying out this long, that means we got a race on our hands, people. So,
a race for the lead, so that's what we always want to see. Good stuff.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Now, he almost lost it there, Ali. Almost lost it there. As Ali's cutting into that, we'll get back to that in a second here. Winkle cleared, so Winkle's going to be good, I would imagine, but Death Scythe is only 2.5 behind them. And then down the rest of the field, Anubis, Amular, and One Wing. I'm curious to see. I don't know how One Wing got back in front of Amular, but Anubis took that spot from his teammate, and we'll see if One Wing can run him down towards the end. Amular went off there, so they both did the same thing. They lost positions. Early Mac in the top 10, Mdez in the top 10.
I don't know if Winkle will make it for fuel at the moment. There are still 4 laps to go. He's 15% remaining at the moment, so
that's what I said.
Lose the spot to Death Scythe.
That's what I was thinking. When he came into the pits, I said, I know that he had less fuel than Amular and came out almost 2 seconds ahead of him. So he might have underfueled here. So we've seen a lot of things going on today. We've seen an underfuel and an overfuel, and here comes Ali making a run on J-Rod.
Less than a second now. He's cut off a 4-second lead and only 3 laps to go, so J-Rod's gotta try and just defend here because he doesn't have the pace. He's taken the risk. I think it was the right thing to do because otherwise he wasn't gonna have a chance, so we'll see how he does.
I think it was too, and the only issue he's worried about now is that Ali just set a fastest lap and he's purpling again. So it's only a matter of time before Ali does run him down at the straight. You would figure if Ali's just patient and waits and doesn't try and make any crazy overtakes that would hurt both of these drivers, you would be able to get him down the straight, if not this lap, for certain. Next lap. Yeah,
but running kinda short on time, 2.5 laps to go, so we'll see what happens. Into the hairpin, very close to his bumper. A little bit of contact. We keep on racing, just some slight contact. We go, final sector. This is the highest part of tire stress on the track with long right and left handers. So J-Rod is gonna struggle through here.
Oh, he's getting close.
Little bit of contact. No contact, but just really close to his back at the moment. And only 2 laps to go now, so J-Rod's got half a chance here. He's on the back foot, but he's got half a chance if he can keep it on the track, not an easy track to overtake. Ooh.
It's a drag race. There's the Japanese or American muscle. And the American muscle on the worn tires looks like it's got the inside and still going to prevail. No. That's a good move by Ali. Now, Ali, I think he certainly should have. I mean, he's on. That's another thing, though. Ali's on a little bit less fuel. It's very hard to tell. I would imagine that they wouldn't have underfueled here, but J-Rod is just he's got enough fuel for sure J-Rod does. I'm wondering if Ali does, but he seems pretty confident in his drive that he has enough fuel. So we can't let that fuel indicator lie to us there. But like you said here, again, great job by Cupcake in his first debut. But Winkle, it's close to where Ali's is. So I mean, he still looks like he's pushing here the regular way. Now, to everybody out there, there's also fuel mapping that you could play with. You could actually know that you could go all the way up to fuel map 6 if you had to, or leave it at fuel map 1. Everybody tends to want to leave it at fuel map 1, of course, but if you find yourself in a situation where you've underfueled, you can certainly play around with that if you have enough time, which it looks like Winkle does. But Ali would not, so I'm just curious to see.
Ali looks pretty confident with his strategy, still pulling a gap on Gero, so
yep.
Doesn't look like he's gonna have to save at the moment. So yeah, pretty good drive by him all day long, and I think he's nailed the strategy. I don't think he needs to save any more fuel.
No, I think you're absolutely right, and it looks like maybe J-Rod actually did take a little bit too much, but I don't think that's the difference here. But it's great to see really close racing. I mean, within a second of each other, and the way the strategies work out, I would say that the medium tire compound here has shown to be successful. I mean, you had pretty much evenly paced drivers, and you see how it worked out here. A very close race to the finish between 1, 2, 3. Again, BDR Cupcake, great debut for him. Coming home, looks like he's definitely clear of a podium unless he bites it off track here, and that would be bad news here. Winkle, looks like he's clear with fuel. So two drivers making their debut, along with TPRT, Ali, GP. Really, really strong debuts. Death Scythe, we've mentioned, has had one to forget. Anubis, pretty nice drive from him. He was off a few times, but inherited a few positions from his teammate, where One Wing, sad to see, because it would have been nice to see One Wing. He was doing really well. But both of these drivers, Anubis did make an appearance last year, but One Wing is his first ever appearance in SFR. Him and Winkle were battling it out very close to the end. Amular had a wreck. Mac we didn't see too much. Mdez, CD, Big Red, Cyberstro, and that's it. So you got Ali that won it. Good job. Good job. Really great job. Yeah.
Now Winkle has got 2 corners to go. He's gonna make it with fuel, so
yep, Winkle making it with fuel.
By the end, but that's it.
Looks like he got it.
Yeah,
so,
calculated really well. Yeah. A little bit of wheel spin, and he's 0 out of fuel, but he's made it already.
Home.
Good job.
That site's still taking a top 5, even with all the stressful situations and offs that he had today. So, really good recovery drive. Anubis, hey, you take him how you get him. He had a pretty decent drive, 6th, and his teammate coming in 7th. They got to be happy with their debut. Amular off, or he would have been in the mix.
Final battle for what we have for the track for 10th place. M-Day is looking pretty vulnerable to Cyber's right now. Let's see.
It is indeed.
Loose through there. Cyber's gonna make his move now. Final corner.
And Mdez, look at how much fuel he has, even though he's on burnt softs. We'll see. Can Cyberstro get the overtake?
Overfuels a lot. No, it's not good enough for Cyberstro.
Very close, very close.
Yeah, M-Day rounds off the top 10. Good job.
And then there is Big Red coming home in the Porsche. We didn't get to see too much of Big Red today, unfortunately, but he did go off. Still a pretty clean drive. And there's your results, ladies and gentlemen. TPRT Ali GP taking the victory at Autopolis.
Congratulations on that. Good drive.
Pole, fastest lap, and the victory. So all 3 rack them up for Ali. Really, really nice drive there.
Yeah, gotta say that's pretty well deserved. I think there was no other more deserving than this for this win. I mean,
Yeah, and you gotta say, Rodrigo, it was a really nice drive by Ali, J Rod, and Cupcake. If we had a driver of the day today, I'd probably give it to, I'm gonna say Cupcake, just because of the fact that he was pretty much making his debut. Your nerves can get a little shaky, and he held firm to his strategy. He kept it on track all day, and he came home with a podium. So I'd have to give it to him.
yeah, that's a job well done. Good drive, good momentum into the season. So hopefully he's gonna be able to keep it up. Wish well on all the drivers. Hopefully they all keep it up, and we can have a good season coming up.
Yes, absolutely, and we'd like to just explain a little bit more for SFR before me and Rodrigo get out of here. I hope everybody enjoyed this race. And again, thanks for all the drivers for coming out. This was not the full GTC3 division. There was a few drivers that were missing, so we will have a full 15 grid, 15 car grid moving forward. But yeah, so the racing mediums now need to be used for a minimum of 5 laps. The next time that we'll see a stream, that's for GTC2 and GTC3. The next time we'll see a stream, though, Rodrigo, will be at Majority, our favorite place, and it will be for GTC1, where the racing hard compounds and medium compounds are a minimum of 5 laps, which definitely throws a twist into things as well. So next test race is mandatory for all divisions, all drivers. So we will indeed be back, me and you, Rodrigo, will be back together doing maybe even both divisions. It's possible that we do GTC2 and GTC3. Either way, we'll be doing GTC3 though, so you'll be getting used to hearing a lot of us. Sometimes it'll be on replay, sometimes it might be live, but we'll get it to you one way or another. And again, thanks for joining me as always, Rodrigo. And
thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I look forward to a great season to come.
Yep. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've had fun watching. We had a bit of battling for the win, and all over the place too. Some pretty good drives. So hopefully we have the same in the actual season. There's no reason to not have that. If they could put on the show today, they will put on the show any other day of the week.
100%, absolutely. So for Rodrigo, this is Ketch, and we are signing out.